Hi, Dan Rudy, Heurich House Preservation Director. We're here talking about the roof today. So right now we're in the turret room, which is the room on the roof level just below the large spire that's on the top of the Heurich House. Some of the stories told by one of the granddaughters is that children weren't allowed up here, and probably because they'd fall off the roof, but children weren't allowed up here and unmarried women weren't allowed up here. So take that for what it's worth. But it seems like it was used for the men hanging out, smoking cigars and drinking. It does have a call tube that would call down to the kitchen. Ground control to Major Tom. And so you were able to, ask staff to bring things up. It does have a dome ceiling, which is very interesting because you can hear as I walk into the middle, the sound gets really crazy. So where I'm standing is the original roof level of the Heurich House of the main building. And originally it's the concrete roof that had a tar coating on top of it. And sometime in the early 80s, the Historical Society put a new roof on the main house, which comprised of adding a layer of foam and a rubber membrane and resloping the whole roof over to a new draining system. So the issue we're having now is the rubber membrane. They usually last 20 to 25 years. And so you can see it's starting to have some cracking. Some of the seams are starting to leak, and it's well past time to replace the membrane. And in doing so, we'll need to remove the foam and do a new insulation slope and a rubber membrane. So one of the roofing projects that we're beginning this fall, we got some grant money to redo the conservatory roof, which is down here. And this roof will be redone. Right now it's a tin plated steel, and it is beginning to rust and get pinholes and various things. It will be redone in a copper sheeting, even though it's more expensive to do copper up front. Since the copper lasts so much longer, it's much cheaper in the long run to do a copper roof. So now we're going to look at the north wing, and the wing has a separate roof system. So as you see here, it's only 2 stories. It has a rubber membrane that was put on the top with rock coverings to keep the light off, the UV light. We don't know what the original roof was underneath, but it was probably similar concrete with a tar coating. Our hope is to redo that as well with a copper roof. So up here, you can see the spire on top of the Heurich House. Originally, the spire was covered in a terracotta or a clay tiles. Somewhere in the 30s or 40s, I can't remember, they decided to replace it with copper. And so with the addition of copper, they also had to be concerned about lightning. As you can see, a very tall, and especially at the time, this would have been, still one of the taller structures in the area before the large buildings were built. On the top, on the very, very, very top of the salamander, you can see a lightning rod or an air conductor, and that's what will attract the lightning. It's connected to cables. And so here you can see like another air terminal, which is then connected or bonded to the cabling. And the cabling then runs off the roof all the way down to the ground and is connected to grounding rods that are pounded into the ground. So that's our roof, and that's a wrap.